Good evening, this is Carolyn with Scrapbooking with a Twist, and we are going to do the weekly embellishment for Ginger's Corner, and this week's theme is warm wishes, and we had to use warm colors. Well, you can't get much warmer than yellow, orange, and red, and that's what I'm going to use tonight. And I'm just going to make this little banner thing. It's really simple. It's no big deal, but I thought it could be, I think it would be neat with the title on it, like black letters or even brown or other colors would look good on this that could house your title. Or you could mat a smaller picture and put it on this. So I think this is usable. I think I would use it. So that's what we're going to do tonight. The first thing I'm going to do is to, I think I'm going to go ahead and glue this on here so it can be dry when we need it. So let me just set these things aside, and I want to get my little pad out here. And this is just a little border die cut that I have, and it came with 2 or 3 different little borders in it, and then I just cut this really narrow little strip out of the orange. So let me get this up on here, and I am just going to run this glue down here and stick that little strip on here. It'll help stabilize it, but it kind of gives it, it draws attention to it and kind of finishes off the top of our little banner embellishment here, I think, better than just leaving it plain. So let's run that right along there. Okay, we're just going to let that dry for just a minute, and then we'll ink it, and then we will use it. Okay, get that out of the way. So the next thing we need to do is to cut our banners. And I just took, this is a little yellow star paper. This is just kind of an orange, kind of muddly paper. And then these all were in a, and this one, I used this one to cut my flowers out of. These were all in a 6x6 paper pack. And I think I told you before, I took all of my paper packs, broke them down, my 6x6, my 6x8s, my 4x6s, all of them, and put them in my scraps because I just wasn't using them. And I'm using them so much more. So I marked these. These are 1.5 inches because it's exactly 3 or 4 of these are 3 inches. And I wanted to come out even on those across the top. So I'm going to cut my little banner shapes, and I just marked these where the middle is because I'm not very good at just eyeballing the middle. I kind of like my banners just a little bit deeper than some people do. Some people like them cut real flat. I like them, actually that one's not quite as, I think I'm going to make that one just a tiny bit deeper. I just like them a little deeper. I think they look, to me, they look prettier. If you like them flatter, you cut them however you want to. But I like them just a little bit deeper. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, so there's that one. Now the orange. I love these bright, bright colors. That's right up my alley. I know there are people that really don't use them very much, but I love the bright, vivid colors. Okay, get this one done, and then we will be through with that. Okay. All right. Now then, I am going to go ahead and ink these. I inked the little flowers in advance, so you didn't have to watch me do that. But I am going to ink these, and while I'm doing that, I will go ahead and do the twist. The twist tonight comes from Proverbs. I've been doing some things from Proverbs lately. I've done 2 or 3 different twists lately from Proverbs. And I don't know, you know, if Solomon is known to be the wisest man ever, then I figured there were some things in there that would serve us well to pay attention to. And this one tonight was one really aimed at me. So listen to this and see if you can apply it to yourself. Good people think before they answer, but the wicked speak without ever thinking. You know, the older I get, the more unfiltered I am. And there's really no excuse or no justification for that. We haven't earned our right of passage. Just because we get older, we can't just say things. We still need to be filtered. As a matter of fact, I think, in all honesty, I should be more filtered because I have more years experience. I've walked with the Lord longer, and so I should be able to hold my tongue. I should think before I speak. There are situations where we definitely need to pray before we speak. And so for me to allow that filtering system to kind of dissipate is wrong. And I really need to, I mean, I'm not really bad, but there are just times when I choose not to filter. And so I've got to work on that. So this twist is for me, to be real honest about it. You know, there are just situations where we need to pray. You know, if it's a sticky situation or someone's asking for advice or you see something that you feel like you need to react to, you know, maybe you need to just really pray. You know, you can pray in an instant before you react, but for sure, think and plan. So our answers should be calculated. We should, I don't know, what's another word? Calculated, I think, and filtered. I just think those are probably the things that fit there the best, because God's wisdom through Solomon is for all of us. Solomon was probably teaching his sons or the young men of the palace. We don't know, but we need to pause. Just need to pause. We need to think. Sometimes we need to even pray before we react and speak. Okay, so this is where we're going with this. I cut this little piece. It's about 2.5 by 2, I suppose. But I wanted to use it to glue the banners to, just to stabilize them, to give me something to work on, rather than just gluing them to themselves. And I am going to shorten them. They're not going to be the full length. So actually, I think I'm going to put glue on this and just kind of stick these to it. So I'm going to make my yellow one a little shorter, and then I'll trim all of that off. And I'm going to make my orange one just a little bit longer. And I want them to butt right up against each other. Maybe something about like that. And then this one I want up a little shorter. Maybe something like that. But that gives us something to glue to there and hold everything together. So let's get that one centered. Okay. Now we can trim these off. And you can make them as long or short as you want. I know this is off camera, but I don't really have room to get this up there. So let me just go ahead and cut it off. Okay, there's that. There's really no need to go back and ink that because I'm going to put this over it. But I do want to ink around this. I did not ink this one. and it kind of gets lost, especially on this yellow one. So I am going to ink around these, just a real thin little line just right around the edge of these, just to give them some definition. Let them stand out against that, especially the yellow. Not a thick border, you know, coming into it, just a little skinny line around the edges. That's enough because I don't need but 4. Oh, I'll just go ahead and finish it because I will do 2 out of this. Almost done. I'm using fired brick for my red. This one doesn't have to be done because it's not even complete. I'm using fired brick and the Distress Oxide for the red that I inked those in and that I inked this in. So let's get that right there. So let's just run our glue right along there. There we go. If we want to, we could ink that top edge, but I don't really think it's necessary. Let that dry just a second, and then I'll trim it. Okay. All right, so there is kind of the main part of our little embellishment. And then we're going to build this little flower cluster right up here in the middle. So I used these 3 punches. Again, these are just those, I've used them several times lately, some of those cheap little Hobby Lobby Paper Studio flower punches. And I don't think they have them. They may have the smaller ones in the store now. I don't know about the larger ones, but I did see them on the website, on the Hobby Lobby website. Oh, it's been probably a year ago or more, but so if they don't have them in the store and you wanted something like that, I would just look on their website and then also just look on Amazon under paper punches, flower paper punches. So I'm just going to put this flower right in the middle and then build those others around it. So that one's just going right in the middle. And then in the center of it, we're going to do one of these medium-sized flowers. Now, I can't really strip it with my fingernail, but I just take the end of my little pickup tool and kind of form it and that smaller one around it. And then set it in there like that. And then one of the little ones right in the middle. Just like that. And then we're going to put, on the sides, we're going to put the medium and one of the little bitty ones on each side of that bigger one. I started with it over here on this side, and then I decided I didn't like that as much and moved it back to the center. Kind of tuck this in under this one so they look like they're intertwined. And then we're going to put some little bitty, teensy, tiny little rhinestones in here. I had some little red ones, which kind of go with it. So we're going to stick some. I don't use them very often, but they are the teeny tiniest little things. Get this in under. And these will flatten out when they're mailed, but whoever gets them can kind of fluff them back up again. This is the last one of those. Turn up for me here. Okay. Just throw everything. It's late. It's very late. And I've got to get up in the morning. But I wanted to get this one done. Okay, so there's that. Now we're going to use some of our little rhinestones. And put them right in the middle of those little bitty flowers. These stick really pretty well, so I'm not going to use glue on them, but they really stick well. Okay. Now the big one. And the last one. If you have not found us over on Ginger's Corner and all of the embellishment swaps, in the link below, or in the description below, will be the link to everyone who does this hop, so you can just do one click and watch everyone's. There is also a link to Ginger's Corner in there. And you can just go over there. You don't have to do the swaps. You don't have to make anything or show anything. You can just enjoy everyone else's. Lots of videos, lots of pictures posted, and a lot of fun games and giveaways that you can participate in. And so that'll all be in the description. So many talented people that make really neat stuff every week. So that's it. It's really pretty simple, but like I said, I think you could put a smaller picture on it. I think you could put a title on it, or you could just use it as it is, as an embellishment. So that's this week's Warm Wishes. Thank you so much for dropping by and just joining me this evening. I'm going to give you a little bit of a close-up. Thanks for joining me, and just be sure and watch everyone else's. Just so much talent. And have a blessed day and be a blessing to someone else.